Today we will be winter pruning my fruit trees. Welcome back everybody, my name is Paloma and today we're going to be out here in the garden. Thank you to all the new subscribers. If you haven't subscribed yet, please go ahead and click the subscribe button down below. I am trying to reach the 1,000 subscriber count and I would really appreciate it if you go ahead and subscribe. So getting on with the video, I have read 6 different books on pruning. And I have watched countless of videos in preparation of one of the scariest things I've yet to do, and that is prune my fruit trees. And if you feel the same way, this is the video for you. We're going to go ahead and test out all of the knowledge that we've gained in our orchard today. I will say, after reading all of those books and watching videos and seeing the techniques and things that people have done, I definitely feel more confident in moving ahead with today's task. So as a quick refresher for everybody, we do have 18 trees here that produce some type of food. Of those 18, 5 of them are citrus trees. We have 3 guava trees. We have a nectarine tree, we have 2 peach trees, we have a pomegranate tree, an apple tree, 2 guaje trees, a fig tree, a banana tree, and most recently a plum tree. I have also just started working on creating a fruit orchard here, and all of these fruit trees are from 1 year to 3 years old, which means they are young fruit trees. And that really means that the next growing seasons, I'm going to be focusing on making sure that the fruit trees get established in their shape and in their size. And we won't be worrying too much about food production at the moment. Because it is my backyard, I will be making them very compact and very low so that it's easier for me to harvest. And you can go ahead and see, for example, this peach tree next to me. It's about my height, which is about 5 feet tall. And the reason why I'm going to be making sure that my fruit trees are compact and low is because it is a single family household and we don't need a lot of fruit like you do in a commercial farm, where we will be okay with having 30 fruits per tree versus having the 200 fruits or more. Right, so let's go ahead and get ready to prune. The first thing that we want to do is talk about our attire and the tools that we will be needing. I do have my trusty little basket here with me. You want to make sure that you're wearing some type of long sleeve, and you also want to make sure that you have your trusty gloves with you. If you have some long gloves, that would be amazing just because you'll have extra protection, but this will work for now. And you also want to make sure that you have a good pair of hand pruning shears. And before we get started with anything else, you also know that in my basket, I always have an alcohol disinfectant and a wipe for it, as well as a tool sharpening. And you don't have to do a lot. You can just do a quick 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then on the other side, you want to do that as well. And make sure that you angle a little bit. So 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Beautiful. All right, so the next thing, let's go ahead and start getting a little disinfectant here. Quickly, doesn't have to be a big thing. And you want to do this before each of the trees. And I would also recommend that if there's a tree that's been sad or you feel like it might have disease and you're not sure, I would do that one at the very end. Alright, so another thing that we need to take into consideration is that we need to start thinking about what we want to do to these fruit trees and how we want to prune them. Now, there are the 3 different ways that are common. You're able to prune your fruit trees with a center leader, so you have the main stick and then the other branches that are growing around it. You have the modified center leader, where you have the main stick and then 2 separate sections where branches are growing around it. And you have the open crown option, or what a lot of people like to call the wine glass. And You do not have a center leader, you just have the branches opening up to create that wine glass shape. And with all of that out of the way, it is time to start pruning our fruit trees, and we're going to be starting with this peach tree right here. It gave us a lot of fruit this past season, and that was before I knew that I had to prune it. And let's go ahead and zoom in a little bit. So here is the peach tree, and you'll see that the leaves are starting to fall out because it is winter and they're going into dormancy. And the first thing I want to identify is where the graft point is. So you'll see a V. I don't see a graft point, but let's keep going down. I'm thinking the graft point is down here, but let's see if we see a V. All right, well, I say we're gonna take a gamble, and I'm pretty confident that the graft point is over here. And you'll see suckers are starting to come out of this. And this over here looks more like a natural growth, maybe. So this fruit tree is the first one we're gonna start with, and I have the pruning shears here. They've been cleaned, and the first one I think is going to be tough just because it's telling me to cut, and I kind of am scared because this has given me fruit before. I know it will do it again, but if I want to make it how it's supposed to, then I'm gonna have to cut. And I'm thinking cutting right here. You can't see, obviously you're over there, but I think this is a good place to start. There's some knots around it that I think will be growing, and they're pretty nicely placed. And so we are going to be taking it from right here. And there you go. There's no going back. And honestly, good thing I did, because this is looking a little bit sad. And oh, it's just from the shears. Okay, great. Now, the next thing that we're gonna do is leave that there and move on to the next one. So this is the overall pomegranate look, and I'm gonna zoom in for you so that we can try to see what it is that we are doing. You see that this here is dead, so we want to take that and cut it out. Great. And the next thing I'm gonna do is actually untie this, because I tied it so that it would grow up a little bit straighter, because it was leaning towards one specific side. And there you go. Granite. This one here is dead, so we want to start doing that. Alright, so obviously the peach one was pretty simple. We were bringing it down in height, and so there wasn't much for us to cut. For this one, we are going to make sure that we identify the first 3 to 5 main branches, and I'm seeing 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 back there. So we do have those. And then we're going to go ahead and take out any branches that might cross over later, starting at the bottom. So you saw I went ahead and pruned the one that was down there that crosses over. And here you'll see that this one is growing towards the center, which I do not want. So I'm going to cut that. And you'll also see that this branch here is growing in the center. And you'll see here, actually, these two branches are crossing each other on this level, which means that I want to take out this one and this one here. So let's go ahead and try to get as close to the branch as we can. So there you go. We have that. And this is crossing up there, so we want to remove that as well. And that has opened it up nicely. And we see that this one here is kind of also growing towards the center. And that one are as well. So I'm just gonna remove those. Great. Remember, the first step is identify 3 to 5 main branches. Then go ahead and identify branches that might cross over later. And we're trying to open up the middle and get branches out of the way, which we did. We went ahead and opened up the middle. There, now we're just going up and seeing anything that's crossing. So that one is crossing over there. And that one is crossing there. That one is there. And if you see any dead things, go ahead and start cutting them out. Now, I'm going to switch over to doing a head cut. And the head cut is anywhere in the middle of the branches that are and we want to make outward facing cuts. And the thinning cuts are the ones that you're doing really close to the branch. So for example, this one here, it's growing a little bit weird. And so I'm going to cut it as close to the main branch as possible. That, my friend, was a thinning cut. And a heading cut. And a heading cut is anywhere alongside the branch. This is more the shape that it is going to take. So why don't we start on that side, since that one's more crowded. And you might be wondering why it has this yellow ribbon. This is to tell me that this tree will drop its leaves, because when I first started, I did not know which one was which. And as I'm going, I'm also trying to remove just any leaves that are still on the tree, just to force this to go into dormancy. Because we are in San Diego, we will need to help our trees lose their leaves. Okay, now I'm obviously showing you the bigger tree, the tree overall, now that we've cleaned up the center a little bit. And I'm gonna start with this branch here because it is kind of in each other's way, and maybe I can cut it here to allow for it to start growing that way. And this one has a node there that would allow it to grow outwards and not be in each other's way. And then this one has a bud there. These are getting in each other's way, so I will cut this one. Great. And this one, I kind of want it to grow this way. So first I'm gonna get that out of the way, and then I'm gonna cut on this outward facing bud there, and that. And then this one I'm going to cut here. Beautiful. Gonna cut here because it is interfering with each other. Then I'm gonna make a little stopper for it so that it forces the plant to open out just a little bit. Great. And here I'm going to encourage it to grow out that way. Over here. Great. And I should have put my gloves on. This is indeed a little bit harder, getting those leaves off. We don't want it to have any leaves. Get all the leaves off that you can. And looking at this branch, we want to cut it down just a little bit onto an outward facing bud. And I do like this one, so I'm gonna get it over there. And then these are in each other's way, so I am going to encourage this one here to grow out that way. And I'm going to remove this here, and these here are really not the best. And this one here I'm going to encourage to grow out that way. And this here I'm going to encourage to grow out here. Beautiful. And I'm going to remove these center growing buds. And ones like that one out of the way. And this out of the way. And this out of the way. Beautiful. And take a look at that. Beautiful. Alright, the next one I want to introduce you to is this peach tree that I have here. And I'm debating between doing a open center The reason why I'm debating it is because obviously you can tell here that the tree was hurt, but it is nice and big enough to be a beautiful, beautiful tree. And let me cut this off because it was hurt, and I feel like it was one of those where maybe it lives, maybe it doesn't. So, I mean, there's not a lot to lose, right? 1 that way, 2 this way, 3 this way. Maybe we'll get one coming out that way. And we have that one. So I'm gonna cut right here. Let me show you. So this is the peach tree, and you can see it's been hurt, and that's from the tree being cut. A branch fell over here, and so I'm hoping that it's still alive and fighting, but it might not. So I'm gonna cut up to here. We have a branch back here, one here, one here, one here, and so I'm gonna cut right here. So that way we have 1, 2, 3, 4, and maybe 5 to choose between. And hopefully one comes out this way. And so let's do that cut. I'm gonna have to put you down, babe. Because look, my shears got caught. And 5, 6, 7, 8. And there we go. It's a clean cut. And you can indeed tell that the branch was healthy. Alright, the next tree I want to show you is this one here. And we had some tree that fell. And remember to clean your shears between each tree. So we've done 3 trees so far. We did our peach tree, we did our pomegranate, and the other peach tree we have. Now, I'm gonna bring you in closer, but I'm already seeing that we're gonna need to thin cut this for sure. And then we have a lot of little branches at the bottom that look to be dead. And this angle here looks good, and this one kind of too, but this one here is not a good angle, and so we're gonna need to fix that. And we are only really seeing 1, 2, 3, 4 maybe really good scaffolding branches. And this one I do want to make into a and let's go ahead and dig that in here. And let's get a rock and get it extra down, just to be safe. Great. That looks beautiful. And I want this one to be my center leader. So let's go ahead and try to straighten it out into a center leader. And so we'll try to do 1 here, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then the ones up there. And of course, we gotta clean up this area here. But for now, we're just gonna get the things that are completely in our way out of the way. And this, I have no idea what it is. All right. So what can we start noticing? Well, we do have some bottom ones here that look like they may have not grown. The first immediate thing that I'm seeing is this. They're growing way too close. This is not at an angle it needs to be, so we need to get it to start growing at the angle it needs to be. Oh, maybe that's all there. We'll put this there in between to help it angle, but I feel like it still needs a bigger angle regardless. So once we start pruning the other ways, we'll use the same bark to make the angle for it. And then we're gonna make this the main cane. So we have 1, 2, 3 at the bottom scaffolding, and we'll try to make a top scaffolding. For the top scaffolding, I'm kind of looking at this right here. So we have 1, 2. I'm gonna cut this off, thin this out, and then we have a node right here. So let me see if you can zoom in. Can you see that node that we have right here? I'm trying to get it to center to you. Okay, hopefully you can see the node. But we have a node that's coming out, and we have a node up here that's coming this way. And I think that would be great if we can get those there. And actually, looking at the back, we also have another node growing that way. And so I've decided that I'm gonna cut right here where we have a node going out this way. And go. And here I'm trying to find an outside node. And we really don't have one, so I'm gonna do it right there. Is that an outside node? It looks like it is. Great. Let's cut that there. And this one, find an outside node. I'm thinking right there. It looks good. Beautiful. Oh, actually, the one we just cut out. I feel like if we could get it just a little bit lower, that would be great. Yeah, just a little bit lower. There we go, pushing it out. We have this one that's being pushed out. And on this end, we don't really see a lower one that's outside, so I'm gonna do that one, and hopefully it gets energy up to this one. This is an outer one actually. Great. And this I'm gonna remove. Have this node there. Great, everything looks good to me. Alright, so the next one is this tree right here. I just got it. It is a plum tree, and we have prune tree. And it's got 3 different types of scaffoldings on them. And you see they're all kind of growing in one general direction. I want to get them growing in different directions. So if we take a look at the things, we can see we have some nodes coming out. And I would love to prune this one to come out this way, and prune this one to come out this way, and prune that one to go out that way. So that's going to be fun. And We're gonna do it kind of waist high, so I'm gonna do this one right here where this node is, so that hopefully it'll encourage it to come out this way. 1, 2, 3 of them that are gonna be growing this direction, and it gives it the option to also go that way. So let's go ahead and cut it. Beautiful. We got that out of the way. Alright, and the next one I've identified is I'm gonna cut right here so that this could come out this way. And it has 1, 2, 3 options of being able to do that. So let's go ahead and do so. Beautiful. And there's our cut. This is scary. Having to prune these, it is scary, but I'm confident we could get it done. And I like this one that's growing out that way, and I think that is where we can make the cut. We have 1, 2, 3, and maybe even 4 options this way. So let's go ahead and cut right there. I like the one that's going back that way as well. Oh my goodness, that thing was on me. And now I'm paranoid that I have more on me as well. I'm totally fine with it living in my garden. I just don't want it on me. Alright, so let's make the cut right here. And it's so hard to film and cut. Beautiful. There we go. There we have it. So this summer we'll see what happens. So let's get it angled a little bit this way and get some support from this to get it. Let's go ahead and do some thinning cuts. I think this could actually, it has room to go out there. That one does not have room though. So let's get rid of that. Get it angled that way. Beautiful. And beautiful. We don't want to hurt it. We just want it to grow a little bit more this way. And do you see how it's angled over there? I want it to have some type of something that lets it grow beautifully. And I'm thinking that length would be beautiful. Get this in our pocket. Beautiful. There you go. Let's adjust just a little bit. There we go. Look at that. Alright, so this is my guava tree. And guava trees are a little bit different, I think, in my opinion. So we'll go ahead and just take a look at what's already there and take off a third. I will be taking this one off because it's growing towards the center and we don't want that. And this one is growing out here, but there's nothing really here right now, so it's fine. There we go. Beautiful. That would encourage that to grow out this way. And this I do like. And I want it to grow out. And I would like you to grow out that way. Oh, well, that wasn't good. Maybe. I've tried it with roses before, and out of all the ones I did get 3 back. So let's try it with this and see. So I'm gonna just take off some of the bark so that we get a chance to get some of those going. And I'm gonna go ahead and dip them in some rooting powder. And I feel like I should do about that deep. So I'm gonna cut these off actually. And in the rooting powder it goes. There you see, it's got some rooting powder. And we'll go ahead and start with this very first one. And this is part of one of the plums. So you want to make a hole so that you're not cutting the rooting powder off. Place it and backfill with some dirt. And I'm going to take some just from the other sides. The next one I'm going to do is this one. Is other plum that I have, and I think about there. So I am to remove these here so that I'm able to get it rooted. So you just want to expose the skin so that the rooting powder actually takes and helps you get some of those so there we go. In the rooting powder it goes, and it is covered in rooting powder. And this one has no hole, so I'm gonna just go. There we go. Nice and carefully backfill. I don't want to get the rooting powder cleaned off as I'm getting the dirt in there. And I do have some more soil here that I can throw on here. Beautiful. The next one is this one right here. And I want to do the same thing, expose the branch so that it gets the rooting powder much better. And I don't want to damage it, I just want to take off the top skin. You don't want to damage tree. Then go ahead and dip it in your rooting powder, like so. There you go. Make a hole in the center. And start backfilling. And this one is a mystery. I don't know if this one will take, because obviously it's bigger, older, but we'll try it. And I may have to go get my other shears. Oh, there we go. I found the angle. Stick it in the rooting powder. And make a hole. Backfill, backfill. And lastly, our other peach tree here. And we'll see. Get that in rooting powder. And 5, 6, 7, 8. Hello everyone.